Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Bryan Clayton, who's the CEO of GreenPal, an online marketplace connecting homeowners with local lawn care professionals. Bryan, welcome to the program.
Mike, thanks for having me on. Great to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you because it's always neat to see when people do these kinds of businesses that are connecting a group of people that have a need to another group of people that have a need. Well, if there's homeowners that need lawn care and there's lawn care professionals that need to find the homeowners, what better way than you can be the connector of those? It is similar to like the Uber, people need to get rides, and let's create an app to connect those up. So I really love the way that your business is laid out. Give us a little bit of background on what your entrepreneurial journey is and has been, and then what led you to start this company.
Yeah, awesome. So GreenPal is an 8-year overnight success. We started the business in 2013, and my two co-founders and I have been grinding on this business, building the marketplace from scratch and building the Uber of lawn mowing, if you will. And little by little, we've grown the company into something that's pretty big. It's nationwide now in the United States. It's in every major city, and doing around over $20 million a year in revenue, over 200,000 people using the app to get their grass cut. And so, yeah, we've been at it for 8 years, and now we have some good momentum behind us. I have a team of around 23 people, and just doubling the business year over year. Before GreenPal, I actually had a landscaping business. So I started cutting grass in high school as a way to make extra cash. My dad forced me on a hot summer day to go mow the neighbor's yard one time. And he said, "Hey, get off your butt. You've got a job to do. You're going to go cut the neighbor's grass." And luckily he did, because something about that just stuck with me. I made $20, and I thought to myself, now I don't have to hassle my folks for money anymore, and I can buy this pair of soccer cleats that I wanted to buy, and it was just awesome. Like something about being able to make as much money as I wanted to make just resonated with me. And so the first thing I did after I got done mowing that yard was I printed up a bunch of flyers and passed them out all over the neighborhood. And by the end of the first year, I had like a dozen customers, and just kept with that little lawn mowing business all through high school, all through college. And after I graduated college, I had to make a decision. Was I going to go into the job market, or was I going to stick with this little lawn mowing business? I didn't really want to be a lawn guy. I didn't go to business school to be a lawn guy, but I thought, hey, I think I can maybe make this a big company. And over a 15-year period of time, built that business little by little to over 150 employees and over $10 million a year in revenue. And in 2013, the business was acquired by one of the largest landscaping businesses in the United States. And so growing that business from just me and a push mower to me and 150 people, I learned a lot about how the industry works and how to start a business from scratch and how to grow a business. And then I retired after I sold the company and got bored. I thought, okay, well, I need to start the next thing. I need to start the next act of my entrepreneurial jersey. And so GreenPal was a straightforward one for me. Like, it was kind of solving my own problem. I saw every day how hard it was for homeowners to hire a good fit lawn care service when I was running my first business. And so I thought, okay, well, let me see if I can build the Uber for lawn mowing, and recruited two co-founders. And luckily we were naive and we didn't know what we didn't know, and we just got started and we never looked back.
That is a amazing story. I've got a quick little tidbit to tell you, but your last point about you didn't know what you didn't know, because if you did know, you probably wouldn't have taken the next step. So sometimes that's good to be kind of dumb and happy and go, let's just take that step of faith and see what transpires from there.
I agree. That naivete can be a benefit. It can be a secret weapon in the early days, because you're right. If you knew how hard it was going to be, you'd never do it.
And that's not a bad thing. Naivete and not knowing what, you do want to be educated. You do want to plan and know things, but I don't feel that you need to be, paralyzed and go, I can't take the next step forward because I don't know what that step's going to look like. So I think in the grand scheme of things, that many times we just need to go, you know what? I got that fire in the belly. Let's just get her done. And the neat thing that I wanted to mention to you with your story about, starting off in high school, When we got our interview booked several weeks ago, it was at a time, I literally remember the day where I was pulling up your website, getting things set up, and my son, who's 17, he came in, and I was like, oh, check this out. It's this cool app that connects homeowners to lawn care people needing jobs. And my son, he does what you used to do in high school. He's 17, he's in high school, and he's got about 8, 9 lawn mowing clients, a little pickup truck and stuff. And so he got set up on the app, and he started getting these alerts like, hey, here's a lawn in the area, and he started bidding, and it took took a minute or two because he had no experience and no track record. So he would bid and not get it, but he got one. And so between then and now when we're talking, he has got one, and it's not just a one-off because, as you know, there's many people that just need, oh, can you come do this for this weekend only? But he picked up his first one that she has him mowing every single week. They become friendly and great friends, and so it's really neat to hear that success story from just booking our interview, and I thought you would appreciate that.
That is incredible. That's why I get out of bed in the morning. That's why I do what I do. That's why we exist. We really want to help new entrepreneurs, new startups, budding entrepreneurs that are just getting started in the lawn mowing business be able to grow their company faster, quicker, easier, because that's really kind of the experience I came to the equation with. I knew how hard it was to run a lawn mowing business. It's really hard to make money, make a living in the grass cutting business. And so making that service provider's life easier, smoother, and more prosperous is what we're built to do. And so I'm so glad to hear that story. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Well, it makes me think of another question. So let's think about not the 17-year-old high school student that just needs a little boost here or there. Let's think about maybe the one-off entrepreneur that's in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and they're like, oh man, this would be cool app here. Let me get set up, and because I need more business. And so that's wonderful. You can connect. They'll pick up this project or this recurring yard. Do you have, and I don't know the answer to this, but do you have resources where you not only connect them to help them get the new clients, but so you think about scaling. Do you provide helpful teaching resources to say, here's how to take it to the next level, more than just here's another lawn, because at some point you will cap out. When should that company hire someone or do things more efficiently or understand this roadblock or hurdle?
It's a great question. So the lawn mowing business is a unique industry because it's got such low barriers to entry. It's often the gateway drug for many entrepreneurs. All the time I do interviews and talk to folks, and they're like, my first business was a lawn mowing business, and they're excited to tell me a story about that. And it's like I hear this over and over again, and I love it because so many business owners get started in the grass cutting service because you can learn the fundamentals and the principles of how to run a business, customer service, timeliness. You understand that if the business is going to be successful, it's up to you. And all of these like fundamentals that apply to all business, you can learn in the lawn mowing business. And so we're kind of part of that experience and journey for many new entrepreneurs. Maybe they want to do a night and weekend thing. Maybe they're a bartender or a teacher or a fireman, and like we're the best way in the world for somebody to make an extra $1,000 a week on nights and weekends. And so that's where we fit really well. And then after they get 50 or 100 customers, then they realize, hey, I'm making more money cutting grass than I am at my full-time job. And then they take the plunge and they go all in and start their first business full-time. And we're kind of part of that. And then after that, they need to hire their first employee, and now they need 200 customers, and so we can help them get there. And so slowly kind of educating somebody who's never ran a business, who's never had any experience running a small business, and educating them on what it means to run a business and how you slowly build up a client base and slowly take care of your customers and expand is kind of what we're there to do. And we do that with how the product is designed, in terms of like little pop-ups and little nudges and notifications to let you know, hey, you're booked for Thursday and it looks like rain, so you might want to reschedule that. Or hey, it's Thursday afternoon at 5. You didn't show up today. You might want to complete that so you can get scored positively. Like this being kind of like a little coach in your pocket to help you understand, okay, this is how you run a successful business, and let's get you to $250,000 a year or beyond.
That's really cool because it's almost, I literally, before we are talking to right now, I literally was talking to one of my clients that is a business coach and consultant, and we were talking about this point where you can help a business 2x, 3x the revenue, but it could be a disservice to them if you notice that they don't have the capacity to handle that, and they don't have the structure and the foundation and there's holes in their bucket. So you need to look at it holistically to say, let's help you lay that best foundation to be ready for, so there's an old saying, build capacity in advance of demand. Well, that's what you just said. And if you can give them these little, now your clients might not be needing master classes and, high end, coaching consulting, but these little nudges, these little tips and little, pop-ups like that, those are great guiding lights and tools. I love how you do that.
Yeah, and we're not taught this stuff in school. We're not taught, in high school or college, customer service. We're not taught, reliability. We're not taught proactivity and follow-up. These are just things that you kind of have to learn through, like, the gauntlet of running a business. It doesn't matter if you're running a lawn mowing business or a bakery. Like, you have to learn these things, and our job is to kind of be there as kind of like a little bit of an accountability layer and a little bit of a coach in your pocket to get you to the next level. Maybe you're only doing, like your sons, who are only doing 1 or 2 yards. Let's get you to 10, and then let's get you to 100. And then if you want to go for it, let's get you to 200. Or if you just want to stay at 5, this is great too.
Yep. I love it, and you said something that I think we could probably spend 4 hours and 20 episodes on, which is like the psychology of success almost. So let's think about something. How can you go from 5 to 20 to 200? Well, it's not. In other words, if you, right before we started this interview, you and I were chatting before we recorded, and I made the comment, hey, you're very rare, because when I logged on a couple minutes early, you were there. So sometimes when you're on time, you're late. Not literally, but you were early and you were there and ready to go. Well, what if someone is on your app and they get this job and, okay, let's show up to, on Friday at 10 a.m. and, oops, I was there at 10:15. That's no big deal. Well, maybe that homeowner needed to be somewhere and they didn't want you to be 15 minutes late or 4 minutes late. And maybe just those little tiny nuances. Guess what could happen? The domino effect could be maybe you don't get as good of a feedback or review, which then topples another domino, which means when you bid on the next yard, maybe you're not seen at that elite level. So how you do anything is how you do everything. And I think that could be a launching point for, what are some of your thoughts that way of the kind of the personal psychology in doing business?
Yeah, and it's not our platform's job to be heavy-handed and controlling and say, you are our contractor, you work for us, you will show up on time. It's to say, hey, your reliability rating is only 63%. That means you only show up on the day you get hired 63% of the time. And here's what it looks like when people are comparing your quotes against your competitors' quotes. And the average reliability rating in Bloomington, Illinois is 83%. So you need to work on that. You need to get that higher. And here's how you do it. If you see rain, you need to kind of be proactive about it. If you get booked for a day you can't do it, you need to be proactive about it. So, just kind of educating the service provider to understand this is how you run a proactive small business, not you work for us and we're going to fire you off the platform if you don't do these things, because that never works.
Yeah, because when they win, you win, because then they want to stay. They want to get more. They're getting more and more jobs, and then they're using your platform more and more. It's almost like you might consider this. Here's what we noticed about your ratings. You ought to just think about that, and it's those little teeny coaching moments. So yeah, I think that's really, really huge. What are some of the so actually you brought up a good point about ratings and reviews. So in the app, some homeowner can see, oh, this person that's bidding on my work that I put out there, they only have a rating of X. So that's a pretty big decision influencer, right?
That's right, and that's the job of our platform, of our product, and our marketplace is to promote the service providers who are giving off signals that they're reliable and doing a good job, and to demote and in some cases expel lawn care services that just aren't doing a good job, who really may not be cut out for running their own business, or who just aren't really giving it their all, and to enable the consumer to kind of get a good, consistent experience and not have to go through the hassle that happens in the traditional sense, where you'll call 10 people, maybe get a phone call back, then you get a quote, you hire them, maybe they'll show up. And if they show up the first time, then they kind of flake on you the second time, or they don't show up on the day they're supposed to, or they don't blow the clippings off like they should. And so all of these like million things that can go wrong trying to get this chore done, it's our job to solve every one of them. And one of the ways we do it is by holding service providers accountable. And we do that through three primary ways. And so the first is ratings. We all are accustomed to ratings, Yelp style, Facebook style ratings, Uber style ratings, where every time a transaction occurs, the consumer can rate that experience on a 5-star scale and can leave a note on how they did. So that's standard. Everybody gets that. And that's a great way to understand who's good and who's not. And then the other ways that we measure who's reliable and who isn't is how often do they show up on the day they are supposed to. Like just as simple as that sounds, the inconsistency of service providers in the traditional world is really hit or miss. They may go a week or two and not even show up. Those drop off the radar. And so it's our job to score that and measure that and surface that. And then the third way that we measure lawn care services is how often do they get booked for a second or third or fourth visit. So if you hire somebody one time, yeah, sure, there's one-off cuts here and there, but the majority of people are looking for somebody to take care of it. And if somebody's never getting booked, or only one time out of 10 getting booked for a second or third visit, well, then that's a passive indicator that, hey, they may just not be doing a good job. They may just run over the grass one time. They don't really clean up the edges. They don't really blow the clippings off very well. They didn't call in advance. They didn't call to make sure the homeowner was happy. All of these things that go into creating a reliable lawn care service, we score and then we surface to the consumer so they can make the best decision.
That's just huge. And I think that one takeaway that I hear from that is doing those things the right way is not a lot of work. And so if it is hit or miss and intermittent in the industry, if that's what is the norm almost, then if you want to be successful, it's not like you have to do, triple the effort and work. It's just show up on the day you say, make a quick text or a phone, do things the right way. And it's like, the football analogy, you got it on the 1 yard line. How much extra effort is it just to get it right over one extra inch to get in the goal line? So I really just feel like so many people just don't pay attention to those details, but when you're the one that does, it is not that extra amount of work, but it makes you look like that rock star, and that's where the payoff is. And you've heard the analogy, I'm sure, too, the racehorse. They won by a nose. What did the winner win, and what did the second horse win? And all the difference was by a nose. Well, it could be millions of dollars. Well, that teeny bit of extra effort is all it takes. And I'll ask you this, Brian, have you ever heard of or read the book 212 Degrees?
Oh, I've never read that. What's it about?
Oh, you need to read it, but it's a neat concept, and it's right what we're talking about. Water boils at 212 degrees. At 211 degrees, it's really hot. But one more degree, bam, is when it's boiling.
That's the tipping point.
Yep. So you might do most things right to get to that 211 degrees. I did the lawn, or I did the one. But those extra little things that you're mentioning, man, that's the tipping point that brings it to the boiling point to where people notice and go, man, that's different. Thank you. And here comes good rating. Here comes better, results, and you're going to get more opportunity and you're going to have more longevity. So I think that, again, you just kind of bring back to some of those personal standards of doing things. And I liken it to that old saying, like I mentioned a minute ago, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Absolutely. That's one of the beautiful things about business. Like every small business owner listening to this can probably relate. Like you are your business. You really are. I mean, your business, whether you have no employees or 10 or 20 employees, it's a reflection of you. And so it holds you accountable. It causes you to be a better person, a smarter person, a more reliable person, a more humble person. That's one of the things I love about business is that, for 20 years being in business, I am my company. My company is me. I'm thinking about it 7 days a week. When I'm in the shower, I'm thinking about stuff that's going on in my business. And, maybe not everybody's cut out for that. But if you experience that, your business can cause you to level up. And two of my favorite quotes that apply to the lawn care business, or really every business in general, is the Woody Allen quote, 90% of success is showing up on time.
Yeah.
And then another quote that Hugh Hefner said is, all of quality is in the details. And so I like both of those concepts because they're just like fundamental things that, everybody was like, duh, but you got to do them. And you got to do them if you're going to be successful in business. And the marketplace is going to extract that from you. So it really causes you to be a better person. At least it has for me.
100%. Well, I just really think that we've hit on some great life lessons, business lessons, and talked about your wonderful app. So let's wrap it up here, Bryan, with what's the best way that someone that might be listening to this and go, I am a homeowner and I need to find a good lawn care professional, or I'm a lawn care professional and I need some homeowners. What's the best way they can reach out and connect with you?
Yeah, life's too short to cut your own grass, or maybe your lawn care service flaked on you. So all you got to do is just download GreenPal in the App Store or Play Store, and you'll get hooked up with a great lawn mowing service in a couple of minutes. Anybody who wants to reach out to me, you can hit me up on LinkedIn or Instagram. That's usually where I hang out.
Well, Bryan, thanks a million for coming on today. It was really wonderful talking with you.
Mike, I appreciate it. Had a ball.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneurssradio.com.